My general posture is we shouldn't negotiate with terrorists. We shouldn't ask Israel or any other country to negotiate with terrorists. You know, we didn't negotiate with Japan after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We said unconditional surrender and release the 40,000 Americans you hold. And that's what they did. But we wouldn't be in this position here in January of 2025 if that's the position Joe Biden had taken in October of 2023. If we had simply backed Israel to the hilt from the beginning of this war, providing Israel the weapons that it needed when it needed them and in the quantities that it needed them, and certainly not putting diplomatic and political pressure on Israel to cut bad deals for the last 15 months. And in all of these exit speeches and exit interviews, Mark, Tony Blinken has admitted that every time U.S. or international pressure was brought to bear on Israel, it caused Hamas to walk away from the table or to make more unreasonable demands because they thought that Joe Biden or European leaders would put the pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu that Hamas couldn't on the battlefield. So the reason we're in this position, where there are still almost 100 hostages left in Gaza, 7 of whom are Americans, is because Joe Biden has been a weak, failed president who hasn't backed Israel.
So very, very important points. And you raised something about Netanyahu. I don't know about you, Senator, but I've about had it up to here. I am sick and tired of the attacks on Netanyahu from all corners. The pressure on Netanyahu, that he has to give in to the terrorists, that he has to give in to the Saudis, that he has to do this, that he has to do that. This is the leader of a country. It's very difficult to become the leader of Israel under their electoral system and the way they set up governments. He's the longest serving prime minister. And yet, it's like the Israelis always have to give in. They have to give in to Hamas. They have to give in to Iran. They have to give in to Saudi Arabia. Iran is a terrorist regime. Saudi Arabia is a monarchical dictatorship, and a vicious one at that. Qatar is a terrorist-supporting regime. Egypt is a military dictatorship. Israel's a democracy. So why are we always putting the shoulder on Israel, threatening Israel's existence, Israel's defense, Israel's liberty, when they're surrounded by all these individuals, all these countries, and we act like it's Israel that's the problem?
Yeah, and Mark, that's not just bad for Israel, it's bad for the United States because Israel is our best ally in the region.